Good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome to Shine.HR Live. I'm your host Vasundhara Sopti, and I'm here with stellar speakers for a thought-provoking discussion on the future of talent acquisition, generative AI's revolution in discovery and matching. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. Vijay Nair, VP Marketing Shine.com, to give opening remarks to our esteemed speakers and audience. Over to you, Mr. Nair.
Thanks, Vasudha. Good afternoon, everyone, and I welcome all of you to this exciting edition of Shine HR Live. A warm welcome to our esteemed panelists, each of whom is an industry stalwart, is a leader in the HR domain, and looking forward to an enriching session ahead with insights and learnings being shared by each one of you. Welcoming all the HR professionals who have registered and are participating in today's session. It's our endeavor at Shine to provide more such engaging initiatives for you. At Shine, we have been at the forefront of industry-defining initiatives for the last 15 years as a technologically advanced company, as a job portal, as a career management platform. We play an important role as an effective enabler in all your hiring needs. We have a rich database of candidates, over 4.5 crores, and more than 75,000 job applicants happening every day. While at Shine, we are eager to meet all your hiring needs and assist you in your quest for success together as a partner. So looking forward to serving your talent needs and especially leaning into today's session, our esteemed panel will be discussing insights and their learnings about the future of talent acquisition and how generative AI is revolutionizing discovery and matching. We are very excited for this session and looking forward to a very participative sort of a session. Over to you guys and really excitedly looking forward to this.
Jay, and thank you, Shine, for this wonderful opportunity to bring all of us together to discuss this real interesting topic. Good afternoon to all of you. So the latest topic in the world of intelligent automation is generative AI. Technology is revolutionizing business workflows, data management capabilities, and much more. However, many organizations are still determining how they can leverage this new technology in their daily life to solve one of their biggest issues, finding qualified, skilled talent. So we will be discussing on this topic, and I'm delighted to have the esteemed panel here. And so the first question that we have is, what is AI for recruiting? How it is being used in your organization, and I would request Unmesh to share his thoughts on this.
Thank you very much, Joyita, for that question, and thank you, Shine, for having us. And interesting topic to start the year with, right? I think the round of conferences and seminars that are happening. I think everybody is talking about generative AI and the implication of generative AI on work, the future of work, and how the workforce is going to be disrupted. But I think at the forefront of all of this is talent acquisition, because as talent professionals, that's what we do is we identify, define what kind of talent we want to bring on board and be able to build capabilities for organizations that are ahead of the curve. If you ask from my standpoint, Dentsu as an organization, we are relatively early in our journey around generative AI. But I think if I were to talk about what is the opportunity of generative AI in talent acquisition, I think if I were to break down this entire segment of talent acquisition into 2 or 3 spheres, first obviously is the whole element around identification of talent, which is really about sourcing talent, as also defining what kind of talent you need. And I think just in the space of defining talent needs, I think the power of generative AI by looking at existing internal data, by looking at existing internal successful profiles in the organization, your high performers, people that are potentially not so good performers, and trying to segment that data to say what patterns is it really showing you to identify what is a successful profile in an organization, and using that learning therefore into your sourcing pipelines by virtue of then identifying what talent pockets or talent pools do you want to penetrate better. And I think that's what generative AI is today allowing you to do, be able to source better quality talent. It is reducing the amount of effort that recruiters had to put in with respect to things like allows you to customize a job description without much effort. Basically, you can pivot it based on the role, on skills, and certain key parameters. It can help you create a job description which in before recruiters used to hunt for time with the line manager, trying to craft a JD that is meaningful, that is truly reflective of the work. So I think that's one. The second thing that Gen AI and tech tools today allow you to do is to reduce biases, if any, on the job description itself, right? There are keywords there which sound more alpha, more masculine, automatically turns away women from some of those roles. So how do you ensure that your job descriptions are truly inclusive? That's the second element that it allows you to do. I think so. That's one sourcing element. The second element there is really around the whole process of managing candidate interactions, managing client connections, and that's where Gen AI allows you to. The whole workflow is kind of getting streamlined much easier, allowing a recruiter to free up time from the transactional task of scheduling, unscheduling, etc., allowing candidates to be able to find the right spot for a discussion with the hiring manager or with the recruiter much more easily. Your Gen AI tools that are sitting on your interviewing platforms is giving you a fair amount of assessment capability, is giving you a fair amount of insight capability on judging candidates. I think that's the second element that's happening. And then I think broadly, if I were to look at this, Joyita, what Gen AI is doing is Gen AI is freeing up recruiter time from all that was considered transactional at a point in time, allowing recruiters to truly engage with candidates, build better appreciation for candidate. And in what I call, like, you have sports selectors, right? All their job is to spot talent, right? And no different. I believe that the recruiters of the future are nothing but talent spotters. Their job is to find great talent and take the talent to the right place where they can truly unleash their potential. So I think hopefully that kind of is my opening comments with respect to the power of Gen AI today in talent acquisition.
Hi, Joeta. Thank you. And I think if I had an option to say plus one, Umesh, I would do that and go further. I think you covered most of the parts. I personally feel the same. I think all the AI tools are really meant, the outcome of any AI tool in today's world or from a talent perspective is really reducing the time to hire by automating a lot of tasks like resume screening, interviewing, scheduling, enabling faster candidate selection, decision making basis the data, and even creating communities and pipeline. And I think the other element or the outcome, what we look at from this is reducing the time to hire is one, and the second is the quality. What kind of a talent you bring in. So it's the right talent at the right time, and both is linked to the time invested by the recruiters. Today, I think there is I think lot of data, information, even talent available, but the biggest challenge for the HR teams or the recruiters have always been how they really spot the right talent, and that's where I think all the AI tools really help benefit that. Also, I think a very important element is removing the biases, because whenever there is a manual management of some of this data, it's always there is an element of bias which can come in unintentionally, and that also is what AI can remove. But again, it's again what goes in comes out. So the whole, I would say, planning and the back-end modeling of an AI tool also is very, very critical, because if you don't do that right, then the outcome might not come that way. So that's my inputs, Shweta.
First of all, welcome to everyone. It's good to really be part of joining this such an esteemed panel. I've been recruiting for last at least 10, 12 years or so in the industry. I've worked with Microsoft for almost 10 odd years, and then sort of worked with different companies, startups, and then currently I work with a company with Schneider. I handle talent acquisition for South Asia, and it's amazing to see how we have come this far as the HR tech or recruiting tech is concerned, right? If I really look at some of the things that the panel really spoke about before, I think we are we are talking about a lot of things in a conceptual level. But I think what's more pleasant to say is the things are actually happening, the tools are coming in, the focus on having the right level of JD are getting created, right? And we are one of the few companies which actually started our AI journey almost 4.5 years back. We created what we call the Open Talent Market platform for all the talent for internal people. I think one of the few companies which actually really looks at creating talent opportunities for people like the way we have like LinkedIn, and really ensuring and encouraging people to really create the profiles, and basis which we really work on ensuring that people have a very clear suggestions, trends, patterns, which really go to them, which tells them how can they really career path they can decide on their journey. There are almost 70 odd indicators which get fed in the system today, right? So if I really look at us, I think I see this happening pretty much every time, every year. And one of the big platforms for us to hire people is internal hiring, right? In a classic world, we would really not have too many companies. You have companies still go to an internal hiring, but in a very few companies which will actually have the ability to really reduce, take out the biases, have the ability to really build in the clear set of patterns, recommend the next jobs, next roles, and also offer the opportunities to do mentoring and projects which we sort of put in our Open Talent platform, right? So I think we are again sort of focusing a lot on just not really having it AI at a conceptual level, but taking it to the next stage, getting it there, ensuring that we have the right data feed, data points which goes into the tool and system, encouraging people to really get in their profile completely up, figuring out what should be the career pathing, which is done very objectively through a different feeder mechanism that we have, right? And then really sort of taking it forward. We have one of the highest internal hiring rates at this point of time in the company, right? So that's an example from Schneider Joida.
So when we look at it, there are multiple solutions available in the market. The innovation is happening every day. And definitely AI tools help to cut down the time taken to hire a person. I represent a management consulting firm and we are into sales enablement. And we are the preferred partners for Microsoft and certain other Fortune 500 organizations. Being in sales, you have all time pressure to give the immediate output, with whether it is with respect to recruitment or the revenues. So that kind of pressure is always there. We are in the process of evaluating the tools right now. We've not implemented any so far. But in the journey, we are very, very mindful of certain aspects. When we talk about AI, as Meenakshi said, it has a simple rule of a computer: garbage in, garbage out. So you have to be cognizant of the fact that what is your requirement, and that is why we are taking a bit of time in ensuring that we're at the right place and we utilize AI well. The second one, I would like to digress and add a little bit over here with respect to recruiters. Whilst it has cut down all the transactional aspects, I feel that it has put more pressure on the recruiters to be highly responsible, not to go in for the clones, but they have to be very, very specific with their assessment that what exactly is required, what is the key requirement. In case the information that you feed in AI goes wrong, then the talent that you hire, typically is not in line with what you want in the organization. If innovation, as I say, it's happening every day, and we are still in the process of evaluating the tool for our organization.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I represent Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages. And I think the topic is pretty interesting, and we all talk about generative AI. And let me just share my thoughts about how is it helping recruitment and what are we doing specifically in Coca-Cola, right? Now, when we talk about different technologies and whether we talk about AI, about close to 60%, 60, 65% of recruiters are anyway using AI. They're using it for different purposes. They're using it for sorting of profiles. They're looking at how do we increase accuracy when it comes to hiring. how do we make our hiring more efficient. And they also look at algorithms, specifically when you look at sophisticated search engines or search platforms, job platforms. They're all looking at AI driven job matching, and how can that help people find the right roles, and how can they find the right candidates. And therefore AI becomes a tool which will be the first sifting mechanism for candidates, depending on what words or keywords you have in your profile. Uh, Closer home at Coca-Cola, we are currently using Skillet. Some of you in the market may be using the same tool, and that helps us to streamline our entire hiring process end to end. Whether we talk about postings or whether we talk about managing the overall candidate experience, and the tool helps us to effectively manage a talent pool of about 280,000 profiles, and we've been able to utilize these profiles for our roles, and look at about 23,000 applicants over the years, and through different social media channels. And humanly, it's not possible to sift through so many profiles and then find out who are the candidates who actually are matching the job role. So therefore, the tool Skillet helps us to fine tune and help us to match the candidates to the right skills that we require, to the right job description, and helps us to increase the overall efficacy of the entire process. Additionally, we also look at Lean AI for different processes to enhance the candidate experience when they join our organization. So we also look at real-time employee engagement, specifically when people come on board. So how was their first 30, 45 days, 90 days experience? And we look at this to enhance the touch points that we have in new joinees, and how that underscores our commitment towards providing people the right experience, specifically in the time when they are new to the organization. And of course, leveraging technologies like Lean AI and Skillet, where they're using AI, is not just helping us for recruitment purposes, talent acquisition, but also for enhancing the employee experience that people have when they come and join our organization. I hope that addresses your question.
Yes, great. Thank you, Gaurav. So this journey has been how long for you? So when did you start?
So we started in 2022, and of course, like a lot of people say, post-COVID, we were looking at what do we need to do, how can we leverage technology, and I think AI was just getting involved, and we started our journey in 22 with Skillet, and we started mapping our end-to-end AI process, and that's how the journey started. Lean AI started probably a year earlier, when the touch points, the connect with people was all virtual. So we looked at how can we look at bots, or how can we look at technology which will help to increase the touch points or help to increase the connect that we have with people who are joining our organization.
AI can definitely be used for leadership hiring to the extent of identifying talent, right? So I think AI tools can analyze those huge amount of data, identify potential leaders based on their skills, experiences, and so on. So, which means whether it's scanning resumes, social media profiles, and so on. And similarly provide, the predictive analysis to really sort of identify individuals who have the right combination of skills, right? The right personality traits and all of that. Also, in terms of the personality and behavioral assessments, I do see a lot of scope where AI, powered assessments can definitely play a very key role in providing a lot of insights into candidates' personality traits, leadership style, and so on. However, and also, of course, I should mention this around the diversity and inclusion bit also. So to make sure that, the potential biases are actually eliminated. However, I think the leadership essence of, is around three qualities of awareness, compassion, and wisdom. I think to discern these qualities, you really need human intervention. So, for example, I don't think, I know today there is AI which is getting better at mimicking human emotions like empathy, but compassion, which is really at the core. While compassion starts with empathy as a spark, but it adds a lot of intent to really do something to benefit others. So I think those qualities which are there is really something where you need the human intervention. For example, wisdom, right? How the leader is able to have the discerning power to sort of really do what needs to be done,
okay, and really form sound judgment based on the experience. That is something which I think, really needs a whole lot of. So when you're talking about a leadership hiring perspective, these are aspects which are very, very crucial, right? And I think so. Yes, AI can help in the initial stages. However, I think you definitely need a lot of human intervention to really ascertain some of these qualities. So, be it awareness, compassion, and wisdom, right, which is really essentially at the core of being a good leader.
Thank you, Vijay and Shine, for having us here to this discussion. A pretty interesting topic. So, if you hear this discussion, a lot of us are talking on the same points, right? Because we are evolving and still in early adoption stage, and it's still a journey for us. And we've not yet seen the destination. And I don't think so. There would be any kind of destination, as Anup was also telling. There is a lot of patterns, and we need to study. And ultimately, I believe both human and AI should join their hands fairly to make it a super combination rather than just depending on AI, right? And for the question, what you have been you've asked, Joita, what I feel is interestingly, right? Generative AI has a potential drive about 30% increased productivity across HR, right? In across HR value chain in the near terms. The impact of this generative AI is basically, what does this do, right? It gives a strategic value addition for any kind of knowledge driven HR organization. So if you look at it, it's a great combination only when it's probably mixed with human brains. Obviously it does happen because you just can't drive your entire business only with AI. There has to be a lot of human interventions to make sure that there's a lot of empathy, a lot of other things, right? Even in the leadership hiring, all those things what you asked. Okay, when it comes to recruitment AI, right? It can be a great enabler for sure, right? For your building, starting from building your data-driven talent strategy or fostering a culture of informed decision making. This is exactly kind of college what I want to go, or this is the kind of company what I want to hire from service or product or B2B or whatever you want, right? It gives a very intelligent analysis for it. And also investing in any kind of AI powered learning and development is always going to be an amazing thing for any kind of organization, especially today, right? And the performance management and the employee feedback, all these things, slowly as I told you, we've not reached the destination. We're doing a lot of trial and errors on this, right? And while we are talking about the key metrics, right, time to hire is something which I have really analyzed and feel that it's really fast compared to what we used to do. We used to go back, we used to search thousands of CVs and different social medias. Today it's really easy. You put the keywords, you immediately get those kind of profiles in hand, and the quality of hire has improved for sure. Because it's not that we get 1,000 profiles and we sit and go on looking at each of the profiles. So I get at last 20 profiles for whatever the keywords what I've typed, right? And cost of hire is also come down. We've not gone into that level, but what I've seen from my colleagues or my friends in other companies, there's been a buzz on cost coming down. And there is surely a diversity and inclusion metrics, as one of my learner colleagues was talking about it, right? And also there is, because as Unmesh was telling, because the recruiters have enough time today, they are able to give a better candidate experience. They're not hurry to go to their next target. They have some time with them and they are doing a good candidate experience. And the final, what I feel is there is surely an accuracy and precision because it's fed by me and I know exactly what is the result I want, right? So again, coming back, the key metrics, what it drives, the generative AI drives, the enhanced candidate matching is something
just amazing, which I have seen and which I've used in my organization. And I feel that is something like, probably if we are looking at huge hirings, this is something which is very useful for us. And the second thing, probably I would tell bias mitigation, right? So this plays a very crucial role in mitigating bias in any kind of talent sourcing, right? By not necessarily like, okay, this IT role, it's only for male, we would look at only male. So at that point, I probably can also get a female candidate over there, or any kind of other, it's just not the male or female today, right? So any kind of other folks also. And it also inflates, as I told time and again, I tell this because today I have my 20 or 30 recruiters who are sitting with me. They are giving a better, candidate experience because there is some time. So these are few things which I feel is success key rates for me, because I'm using the AI based recruitment.
It's like really amazing to hear the kind of stories and journey that each one of you have had. And all of us are actually, I think, we've initiated it in some shape and form in our respective organizations, and learning in the process. We learned what should be the elements that we need to factor in case if we are evaluating a new solution in this area. What could be the possible challenges that we need to be mindful about? There would be a huge possibility of biases coming in and bias amplification also in the whole process. So how do we mitigate, keep checking on some of the parameters and the results which are being thrown out, and just course correct it as we move on? One of the points which Lolly mentioned was about the statutory requirements and how that needs to factor in. And also we need to be mindful that we are dealing with huge personal data of individuals in this whole process. So how are we managing data privacy is very, very important in this context. And we also heard about tool reliability and retention rate, as some of the factors that we need to look at to see the impact of AI-based recruitment. For recruiters, life is going to change significantly, and so there are skills around data analytics, interpreting AI generated data will be very, very key. But along with that, keep the human element intact, keep your instincts and your understanding and empathy as hiring specialists intact, because there would be many roles which are niche and at leadership level where these skills would be very useful. So thank you so much everyone for joining this session, and thank you panelists for making this really interesting, and have a good day. So over to Vijay.
And actually all the panelists. I think this was quite enriching while AI is still evolving, and it was quite interesting to also note that a lot of you have already embraced AI. A lot of you have already seen the benefits, and I'm sure this is something which is only fast evolving as we move forward. So thank you everyone, and I hope each one of you also was seeing this as an opportunity to gain more insights into these sessions. So signing off, and I would invite Vasundhara to also possibly come by. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us. My heartfelt gratitude to our eminent panelists for sharing their knowledge and experience with us. Audience, thank you for listening to us. In case you are looking to hire quality talent, Shine.com is your one-stop shop for it. Thank you. This is your host signing off now.